Alright, yo, it's Emporer Kei, and I'm going to teach you something new today. I've got the sword out right here, and I'm going to show you guys how to become a master with it. First, I just want to clear things up. You're going to be able to do everything that I showed you in the montage. Not in this first video, but in all the videos to come. Just stay tuned, and you learn all this stuff, I guarantee you I can get you there. Well, and with a positive mindset and a mindset willing to grow. You're gonna have to spend a lot of hours in this. That's just, you're gonna have to spend a lot of hours doing anything that you want to do, or you wanna blah blah blah. Oh well, I'm yapping. I don't want to take too much of your time. All I want to focus on is how to get better with the sword. How to go from basic, being a bot, an NPC, into a sword god. And this first video is gonna teach you just how to get started and get your kills. Other than that, a little bit about myself as I bounce between Plat 1 and Plat 2. I can't wait for this new season. I have a lot of hours in playtime. Almost all these hours are in Sword. So trust that you guys are getting good teaching. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the practice arena. And stay tuned for my next videos because each and every one is going to show you new things about how to use the sword. Thank you. Alright, so we are now in the practice arena, alright? I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but I'm going to explain to you guys just enough so you guys can understand, because when I'm interested in something, and I love doing something, I love to teach too, I talk a lot. And so if I was able to privately train someone, they'd probably get their ear talked off, but they would know it by the end of the day. Other than that, let's start with the first thing. Copy me, alright? High sensitivity, turn it up, baby. Turn it up. But a good guideline is, first of all, don't copy my sensitivity. I didn't mean that. Just get a high sensitivity that you're able to get used to. Pick one and stick with it, alright? You need to be able to do small circles and fine-tune it comfortably, alright? And then the next thing you need to be able to do is 180-degree turn. And flick, I mean. If you can't see the enemy, you can't kill them. They're either going to slip away, or you're going to be gone yourself. Especially being a light. Keep an eye on your target, no matter where you are. In the middle of a lunge, you turn your body. Because most of the time when you lunge someone, you'll either land right at their feet, and it'll be fine if you keep your eye on them, or you'll go through them, and maybe they'll have more health, or maybe they won't. And if they have more health, you need to be ready to fight them again. See? 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 Keep your eye on them. Go different distances, just to get an eye on how far the sword can lunge. Stuff like that. Spend a good 30 minutes just playing around with the sword, doing anything you want in the practice arena. Right now. Click pause off this video and go and just play around with the sword. And I'd say practice a little bit with how the sword moves and keep your eye on the target that you're trying to kill. Alright? Because if you don't get used to this, you're never going to be that sword god that you want. This is a very fundamental skill that you need to learn. Alright. Now that you're back, and if you didn't do it, and you're just still playing this video, shame on you. Really, like shame on you. You take no action. Or unless you're watching this video for fun, and no shame on you. But if you're watching this video to train, you should have gone and done that. Okay, I'm wasting time. Copy my keyboard inputs. I said copy them, alright? Copy them. Hopefully you have mouse buttons, because mouse buttons are so helpful. For my specialization, my dash, I use the bottom mouse button right here on the side, so I can press it with my thumb. I changed the Q out for quick melee. When I press back to my weapon, it's my scroll wheel down. We'll get into these later. I'll explain them later. Gadget 3, this is super important. I'll explain it right now. It's the top mouse button. Or if you don't want to go buy a high quality mouse, that's fine. Some people have their reasons. You put it on a button that's close to your dominant fingers. So I'd assume that your dominant fingers are your thumb, which is why I have it on my mouse, or your pointer finger. Just find somewhere to put it without disrupting your whole thing. Just get used to using these buttons. And if you can use the ones I showed you, then you're fine, because you don't have to figure out things later. It's not complicated. It's simple. I gave it all to you, and you're already used to them. So whenever I explain things later, it's not going to be hard. You're going to be able to know how to do it. The only thing you're going to have to do is put in that effort. All right. So like I said, that button is for a vanishing bomb, because there's a lot of situations where you can do it, but then you realize that something didn't go to your plan. So vanishing bomb solves that. If you don't have this on a key that's close to one of your dominant fingers, you're going to die, because it takes all but 1 second for you to die. One bullet, one mine, one RPG, whatever. Toss this at the floor and you're there. That's another thing you got to learn, is the timing of the vanishing bomb. So then if you're jumping off a roof or whatever, you'll know when to throw it on the ground in order to pop yourself. I've thrown it on the ground before throwing it on myself numerous times, and I never turned invisible. And I died. Don't make that mistake. Alright. I'm going to show you guys how to slash, lunge, and melee. So the slash, it does 70 damage. The lunge, it does 140. And the melee, it does 40 damage. You're going to need all of these in order to be successful with the sword. Alright. Let me show you the combos that you need in order to kill these guys the fastest. These are light players. They're really small. They're 150 health. All you got to do is lunge and melee. And make sure when you melee, you do it right after the hit. You see the hit marker for the lunge, and then you melee. Got it. One more time. Practice that. Memorize that. Alright? Mediums. There are 2 combos for killing mediums. There's a lunge and another lunge. Usually I just assume the mediums are just 1 lunge away from death. So if you're ever confused, just lunge them to death. Really simple. That's your first combo. And the second combo is lunge melee and then add a slash at the end. This is the fastest way to kill them, but sometimes they get away from you like a jump pad or something, and that's when you bring out that lunge. You got it? Lunge is for closing the distance. The slash is if you can get them close up. Memorize those combos. Practice it, memorize it. Alright. Last but not least, we got a heavy right here. We got triple lunge for the first combo. 1, 2, 3. And you see how I'm keeping my eye on him? I know where he is at all times, and he stays on my screen. And later on, when you get good enough, you don't even have to have them on your screen. Your spatial awareness is going to know where they are, basically. As long as you've seen them on your screen before, you're basically going to know where they are, behind you, on the side of you, even if you can't see them, or whatever. But that's like the beginner. The beginner part is just following them. But the more advanced part is actually being more spatially aware of close distance enemies. And that's very important. Alright, I'm gonna stop yapping. The next combo in order to kill this guy is lunge melee, and he disappears. This is the fastest way to kill him. But if you miss a melee, let's say you're like this. Oh yeah, I missed it. Like the medium, you can either lunge to kill him, because he might create distance, or you can just come up and slash him. I wouldn't do melee, because melee is shorter range. If your enemy has low health, I would always recommend doing either a slash or a lunge, because it is a melee already. Duh. Okay. Yes, the melee is quicker than slashing, but the distance just... no, there's no point. Alright. Stop yapping, me. I gotta keep reminding myself to stop yapping. Alright, the next bit of technique that I'm gonna teach you And make sure that everything before this you've learned before using this is how to slide. Alright. When you start to lunge, it slows you down from a running pace to a walking pace. Running to walking pace. Also, you can slide and you can replace the walking state like that. Start charging and sliding. But keep in mind, if you slide for too long and you hold it for too long, you're going to go to a crawling state, which is even slower than walking or running. So make sure you time it right. And if you combine all of that, plus keeping your eyes on the opponent, you can do this move right here. That's your first kind of like combo outside of killing enemies. Is the slide, prepare your lunge, and then lunge them. Not only does this get into the enemy's blind spot, but you keep your eye on the target and you can hit them. And then when you lunge, you're going to lunge through them and they're going to turn around again. This is how I trip Heavy's ankles all the time. All you do is slide, boom. You're on this side for a second, and then you're on this side for a second, and then you can throw them off even more by adding a dash to it right at the end. Watch, let me put all that together. Slide, lunge, dash, lunge. This is why people get so mad about sword. Like, it's hard to predict. If you're one-on-one against someone and you don't win, then there is interference. An RPG, a mine, whatever. But if you're against them and they're just using their weapon, you shouldn't lose. Unless they have good aim or they practice against sword users before. Alright. That's that, how to slide. It's very important in order to get into blind spots and to dodge bullets and just to save your dash charges. That's very important. It's a very important thing to do, is learn how to save your dash charges and manage them as well. It's the big thing about it too. If you don't manage your dash things well, you're going to be coming up to an enemy and then you're going to like, okay, I'm going to dash and hit him. And then you're going to have 0 dashes left. And that's your fault, and then you're going to fail miserably. You're going to be so short with them. You're going to be right here. You'll be like, oh, never mind. You'll be right here, and you'll be like, oh, I missed it. And then they're going to shoot you in the head, and you're dead. Happens a lot. But when you get used to it, then you can do it. All right. Stop yapping. Let me see how many minutes that I've been talking. 11 minutes. I'm going to try to finish it in the next 2, 3, 4. I don't know. All right. Fast. Dash lunging. And lunge dashing. I just wasted time right there. Dash lunging is used for dodging bullets and getting behind blind spots, just like the slide is used. So you can go like this, dash, and then do that. That's just like how I did this. But if you do the slide, you're gonna save, charges. You can also use it to dodge bullets. If they have a gun, you do to the left, or you do to the right, or you can do forward, like I said, to dodge bullets. Another way to use dash is to go backwards. Let's say you're facing an enemy sledgehammer heavy. He's gonna go for that big huge swing. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna get crushed. You scoop back, and then when he goes for that swing, all you have to do is just lunge back and you hit him and you dodge that swing. You know how satisfying it is to fight the big heavies with the sledgehammers and dodge them? Oh my gosh, I know what the heavies are thinking. They're sweating. Because they start to run away. When you dodge them, they start to run away. It's funny. Another thing is you might want to dash forward. Because it might be a throwing knives main, and he might be dashing away from you like a little fly. You're trying to catch him with a fly swatter, and he's just flying away. Alright. That's basic uses. Alright. What else? I was going to try to tell you something else about it. Oh, yeah. Another thing you can use it for is to kill around corners. You know that the enemy's right here. All you got to do is dash forward and lunge. Alright. Next one is the dash, the sword dash. Super dash. All you got to do is get the timing down. Make sure you get the timing down. Let go of your lunge. And then dash right after. Like the millisecond after. Get the timing down because this is very important and you're going to use it a lot. you can change the trajectory and distance and speed. You go up higher, it goes farther, but you go slower. You go around here, it's like the fastest. It's in between fast and there's a little bit of distance. You go down, there's really no point of going down and doing super dashing. So watch, here's the regular one. You go about 14, 15 meters. Let's say you aim it up high, you can go a little bit further, about 17 meters. It depends on what you want, but calculate it and get used to it and use it a lot so then you can adapt and always know how far you need to be. You can also combine this with a jump right when you land in order to extend the distance, and then slide after to extend it even more. And I constantly use this off of buildings, roofs, and then off of little ledges in order to extend it like crazy amounts, which I'm going to show right here. This is how far I went with all that. And all I did here was do that super dash, jump, slide, and you go super far. Another use is off of these jump pads right here, and you can fly halfway across the map with this thing. See that? And then you do that too. I didn't even land and jump yet. I've already like flown all the way across the map. And then you do the jump and the slides, you're gonna be even further. I will go deeper into detail about other things you can do. You can also jump gaps like that and then that. That's very important. Or jump from building to building between windows. It's crazy. You need to adapt and play with it for a while in order to get used to the different uses. But I'm gonna go over them in another video. Other than that, I'm gonna teach you how to train. For me, I train 5 to 10 minutes in the practice arena. But when I was first starting, I would do 30 minutes to an hour in the practice arena in order to just get things down and get repetitions into my fingers. Because if you don't have a lot of reps, then you're not going to be able to perform them in game. You need to be able to get your reps down so then you can 100% do it in game. And once you're able to 100% do it in game, then you can do it in ranked. And then in ranked is where you can combine different strategies in order for you to make your own style of sword. Okay. Let me recap. I want you guys to practice 5 to 10 minutes at least in the practice range every single day before you jump into a casual or ranked mode. Then any technique that you learned from this video and you were using to practice in the practice arena, you then go into bank it mode. Bank it because it's so chaotic and you can do a lot of 1v1s and team fights at the same time, and it's short countdown timer for respawn. Go into bank it and just get as many kills as you can. Don't care about the coins. You want to be in the game for as long as you can and get as many kills as you can. Be prideful about your KD when you're in bank it. But don't be a little baby to where you're like, I want to save myself every single time. No. The point of bank it is to warm up and let loose. Make sure that you can get all of the movements from the practice arena into gameplay against real players. And they don't even have to be the strongest players. It's just fighting these guys all day is not going to make you better at fighting people that actually move in different ways. That move upwards, downwards, sideways, switch directions, try to trick you, ambush you, turn invisible. It's not the same. You need to do it in the game. And bank it is the way. Okay. And then the last thing is ranked. I wouldn't recommend doing ranked off of what you learned in this video right now. I would say once you learn all the techniques that I've shown you, that I can show you and teach you guys, then start to jump into ranked. But for now, just stay in bank it, go into terminal attack, go into casual modes, and just have fun. Alright? All this is just to have fun and get better. Grow, and don't blame other people for your mistakes. That's the biggest thing. Don't blame other people for your mistakes. Sword has no counters. Change my mind. It has no counters. The only thing it has is maybe snipers. Everything else you can avoid or figure out a way to get around, because dash provides so much utility. You can dash over mines. You can dash out of the way for RPGs. If you see an RPG, press dash as soon as possible. It doesn't matter what direction you're going in. As long as it's not forward, you're not going to get hit by the RPG if the enemy is good at aiming. Boom. You can go to the side. You're going to dodge it. But like I said, just watch this video over and over in order to get everything down, because this is like a 20-minute video. You're not going to get everything that I said in one watch. Okay, thank you guys. Hopefully you guys learned a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned, because the next video is going to teach you how to go from getting kills to dominating in casual modes. And it doesn't matter whether you want to learn that or not. I'm going to teach you new tech in that video too. Okay? So, peace out. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Emporer Kei, baby.